You can follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowny. He's on Twitter at SportsDean. We'll take it now to some more general NBA rumors. Speaking of LeBron's old team, the Cavs, are they shopping Kevin Love? The report from The Athletic was that they're open to trading Love, which, Harris, I think makes a lot of sense.
They should be open to trading Love. And then we have Jordan Schultz saying that they aren't open to trading Kevin Love. And no one really knows what they're going to do with Kevin Love. The Cavs don't know. Kevin Love doesn't know. The rest of the NBA doesn't know. And we don't know. Because it is absolutely outrageous what the Cavs cap currently looks like and where they are as a team. They got to get rid of Kevin Love. He was so disappointing throughout the entire playoffs, over the past 2 seasons even. That contract is a complete albatross. They got to find a way to get out from under it. Maybe they trade for Wiggins or something just for S's and G's.
Ooh,
but I'm telling you.
Full circle.
Yeah,
the meme trade.
You got to get rid of Kevin Love. Not because he isn't a good player, but because if you are actually trying to rebuild here, he got to start with him.
I think the unfortunate reality for the Cavaliers in particular, they need to be bad. They will lose their first-round pick next year if it is not a top 10 selection. So the worst-case scenario for the Cavs is that they're a borderline lottery team, and that they lose the pick to Atlanta if it's like number 11, number 12 overall. They don't have a first-round pick. The roster ages. Sure, they've got Colin Sexton, but who else is a young building block on that team? Is Larry Nance truly a building block? I don't consider it.
I think Larry Nance
He's a nice role player.
Exactly. He's a good building block in terms of being a role player. I mean, apparently Rodney Hood, they have interest in bringing him back because, hey, a big three of Larry Nance, Kevin Love, and Rodney Hood, title contender right there with Colin Sexton. No, it's Sexton. It's Sexton, it's Nance, and then we'll see what comes after that.
I see a lot of yeses, or at least the ones in the comment section. Folks, keep those coming on YouTube and on Facebook Live here. Next up, could Zach LaVine leave Chicago? The Kings and the Hawks have interest in signing him. Some of the few teams that have the actual available cap space left. There's not a whole lot right now after that initial boom has kind of slowed down.
I actually would love Zach LaVine on both these teams. I think on the Kings he would be an interesting fit. That would be a lot of guards, like maybe too many guards for the Kings. I don't really know who would start, but I will say this. I like the Hawks as well. I think that'd be a good call. If you're the Hawks and you can get a guy like Zach LaVine on the open market, I think you got to make a run at him. I'd be interested to see if they actually give him a max offer sheet.
So again, the Bulls, the Hawks, and the Kings are the main teams interested right now in LaVine. We'll stick with the Chicago Bulls. Next up, they have some interest, it seems, in Jabari Parker and Harris. I don't really understand this one.
I don't either.
I don't think it's a good fit.
It's not a good fit.
It's the hometown, but
exactly.
It's not a good on-court fit.
It's not, but the difficult thing with Jabari Parker is that, look, he turned down an $18 million a year extension with the Bucks, and we know that that's how much money he wants. But, look, if you look around the NBA, here are the actual amount of teams that have $18 million available in cap space. The Bulls, the 76ers, the Hawks, and the Kings. That's it. That is literally it. That is the only teams that have $18 million left in cap space for this season. So I think Jabari Parker his free agency fell on the worst year possible, and he just doesn't really have a lot of destinations. The Bulls at this point are the most likely option just because they have the most money, and that's not a good reason to do anything.
A lot of the RFAs I don't think will find much of a market because there just isn't enough money to lure them in. Because a team will just say, oh, you're taking this cheap deal here? Done. Sold. I'll do that for you.
Yeah, and I also think, like you said, with the other RFAs, I mean, I still expect Marcus Smart to go back to the Celtics. I still expect Zach LaVine to go back to the Bulls. We'll get to all these guys later. But a lot of these RFAs, outside of obviously Julius Randle, I think a lot of them will end up back in their teams.
So Tyreke Evans has drawn interest. He's had meetings with the Lakers, Thunder, Warriors, and the Hornets. His brother said today the decision will come down to those 4 teams because the Grizzlies have not shown interest thus far, Harris.
They haven't, which is interesting because we heard in the middle of the season and at the end of the season that they were interested in bringing him back, which pisses me off even more because they should have traded him at the deadline.
There we go.
Oh, so angry. So dumb. Anyway.
Harris is fun.
I still think with Tyreke Evans, I mean, look, he was at that party with Paul George and Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City. There's interest between the two, but do the Thunder even have money left? I mean, Christ, at this point, they're going to give me $15 million. They have so much money on the cap for this season. I don't think they don't physically have space left
from the
to sign
team
him.
that wouldn't pay Harden, Ibaka, Russell, and KD.
Right? It's so ironic. But look, the Warriors are a legitimate option for Tyreke Evans, which is a horrifying possibility, especially with him adding the three-pointer to his game last season. I would have loved him on the Lakers next to LeBron James. Loved. It is such a good fit. He's the perfect two-guard for them. If they need points, he can get them. They need three-point shooting, he can do it.
Got
he can
Rondo
play
and KCP also as bench options too here.
Exactly. It makes their guard rotation make so much more sense. But it just seems at this point, I think he's going to go to the Warriors. And that is just so scary, even though I don't think he's the best
He's
going to
go to the Thunder because they're going to pay him all that money.
How do they have so much? Wow, they're going to pay like $200 million in luxury tax.
Yeah, baby, you know that's right.
All
right, how about some Dwight Howard talk? Could he go to the Golden State Warriors? The Warriors and the Wizards right now, Harris, appear to be the two frontrunners based on reports. The Pelicans have shown some interest there, likely in the event that they lose DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh, yeah, baby. If there's one thing that a terrible locker room of the Washington Wizards needs, it's Dwight freaking Howard. Oh, yeah, that's what they need. They couldn't get along with Marcin Gortat, and all of a sudden John Wall is going to be best buddies with Dwight Howard. I love it when the Wizards do things like this.
Look,
they do so many silly things all the time.
Dwight put up good numbers this year. I'll make note of that.
Fair.
But there were the reports coming out that he didn't get along in the locker room. So, I don't believe in Dwight Howard because at a certain point when you keep going through a team almost every single year for the past few years, there's something wrong with you at that point. It ain't the player. It ain't the teams.
The only team that he actually was reported to be a good teammate on was on the Atlanta Hawks. And I'm totally convinced that's because it was in his hometown and he was just in a good mood all year because he was able to live in Atlanta and go back to where he's from. But outside of that, I mean, I don't really – I see the basketball fit with Dwight Howard of the Warriors, but do you really want him in your locker room? Do you really want Dwight Howard in a Warriors locker room? It's just going to cause more problems than it actually solves. I get it. They have a little bit of a need at center with JaVale McGee gone, but you got Jordan Bell. You have Damian Lee, who's going to have a full healthy season. You can bring back a David West. You don't need Dwight Howard if you're the Warriors. Just continue to strengthen the wing position, which they did during the draft. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense.
All right, folks, keep those comments flowing in the comments section.